Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. If you're a talented person, I need you to watch this video, and I'm going to be very vague about things through this video generally, but it's just because there's certain stuff that might be secret right now, might be being worked on behind the scenes. I can't really get into the details, but if you're a talented person, then it might be something that you want to pay some attention to. So just to sort of set the scene, basically, as a creative person myself, I like doing creative projects. I like making things. I like doing YouTube, obviously, but also a bunch of other things. I'm just generally someone that likes storytelling and likes being creative and just getting up to mischief creatively. And I feel like I'm entering a phase of my life here where doing that in isolation or doing that with the team of like editors, for example, that I work with, like Joe, people like Joey Conway, doing that with Joe is awesome, but it's even more fun in the instances and the moments where I have an opportunity to work with creatives in totally different fields that I'm not normally used to, and just like get their input on stuff, get their guidance on stuff, get their own creative work for things. Like it just adds a certain special sauce to whatever is being cooked up. And I've seen this a little bit recently in the Destiny community. Like I've joined the Destiny community and then interacted with like a dozen different creators, and I'm learning like, okay, this person specializes in this area and this person specializes over here in this area. And like, it's so fun collaborating with all these different people, and that's just the realm of content creation, right? But there's so much more to it, and it's been a really fun journey, and it's something that I look forward to doing more over the next year and years, right? And so what I'm making this video for, in a very ambiguous way, is to try and find creative people. And when I said talented at the start of the video, right? I don't mean talented as in like you were born with the amazing party trick of being able to naturally put your arm behind your head in a weird way. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about that kind of talent. I'm talking about if you have a skill, if you have a craft, if you have a passion, a deep interest, something tangible, and I guess specifically something tangible that you can apply to other things, then I want to know you. I know this sounds weird. I can't specify anything else right now. But essentially, hypothetically, let's say I was planning some really weird and wacky zombies videos for the launch of Black Ops 7, right? Let's just assume that to start with. One thing that I've always thought would be really cool to do is to get some animations made of various old zombies story radios, and then these radios that have never had a visual component could suddenly have a visual component. That would be really cool, right? And so you could look at that a dozen different ways. You could say, all right, we're going to just get people that can make renders of zombies characters, and we're going to get them to actually like make 3D animations of the characters doing the thing. Alternatively, you could say, we're going to just get someone to draw the characters. Alternatively, you could say, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna do Lego stop motion. Like, there's a million ways that you could reframe that same core idea and bring it from just idea towards completion, right? Another example I can give you is earlier on in Black Ops 6, I thought builds were gonna be a bigger deal in Black Ops 6. They've ended up not really being that big a deal. Like the augments thing is sort of like whatever, sort of. Like they're cool, but it's not completely changed the meta in terms of like suddenly we've got build video after build video after build video. Like no one's really doing that. So augments haven't really hit as hard as I thought they were going to. But when I thought they were going to hit really hard, I made a very rough version of a build creator on my website, chronorium.com. Right? Just for free, for the community to use. There's no ads, nothing. It was just a free thing I did because I thought it would be helpful for the community. And we were going to update it and do more, but then builds weren't really that interesting, so we were like, well, there's no point. But when I made that, I got reached out to by like a dozen different people, and it was It was people that were software devs or students. There was one woman, I think, that reached out that was a professor, maybe. There was a bunch of different people that reached out to say, hey, if you want to take this to the next level and go from kind of scrappy website that you've made to something like a bit more polished, let's do it, right? And it could have been a little sort of joint project that I would have worked on and they would have worked on, and we would have made a really awesome resource for the community. And it's that kind of energy that I'm wanting to tap into here. And it's that kind of energy that I'm looking for right now. And I am looking for that, but I can't promise that I will reach out to anyone about it. Like, I might collect 1,000 names, okay, of people that might be really good fits here. And then I might end up working with 0 of them, just because that's the way that creative projects go, right? Like, it might be that I'm like, oh, I forgot, I have to make GTA my main priority at the end of this year. I just need to make guides, right? For example. And what I'm not really looking for here is I'm not really looking for like someone to make thumbnails for me or someone to make edits. Like, that's less what I'm excited about. Feel free to let me know if that's you. And I'll tell you how to let me know in a minute. So there is going to be a way of us getting in touch with each other. But it's less those sorts of skills that like I can already edit. I already make the vast majority of our thumbnails. And I already have a team, and the team edit, and they script, and they do a whole bunch of other things. They capture gameplay, all sorts of stuff, right? So it's slightly less like filling the roles that I've already got on the team. And it's a little bit more like, is there someone out there that's like an expert, like an academic expert in like the Bible? Or is there someone out there that has a really amazing knowledge of the history of maps? Or like, is there someone out there that, similar to me, has a physics degree, but is actually working in a really cool area of physics that's just like a niche thing, but they're really good at explaining it? Is there someone out there who has, who owns a warehouse in Birmingham who would be super down to turn it into a filming location, and we could do like a stream subathon there, like, and it has good internet. I'm trying to just build a constellation of people, a network, and then if the right thing comes together at the right time, and I don't know what that might be yet, but if the right thing comes together where I'm like, oh, okay, I actually need some of the knowledge from this person who has lots of history with maps to work on this one weird storyline video for zombies that then also interfaces with this like conspiracy theory, and we can build a set to explore a model version of this conspiracy theory thing and do a Lego stop motion of it in this little model thing in this warehouse in Birmingham. You see how I'm bringing the constellation together and we're turning it into something really cool. And so I want to find you. I don't know what you do. I don't know what your specialism is. I don't know if you're a musician or a writer. I mean, maybe you could honestly apply for this in the way that I'm going to explain in a second. And you could just be like, I am a really strong writer, like really strong writer. Maybe you've got like, I don't know, maybe you're a published author and you also have lethal, absolute pinpoint understanding of the entire zombie storyline. It could just be that, right? It could just be a zombies thing, but I don't want it to be limited to zombies, because my fear is that I post this video and I get 1,000 people saying, oh, I'm really good at COD. And I'm like, that's awesome, but it's sort of missing the point of what I'm looking for here, which is beyond that. What is your other thing? Do you know what I mean? We're all united by zombies here. We're all zombies fans, which is wonderful. But I'm kind of trying to figure out like, okay, if that is your primary link to me, do we have any secondary links here? And could those secondary links turn into some really cool stuff through our collective creative effort? Do you know what I mean? Hopefully you know what I mean. If this sounds like something where you're like, I'd love to contribute towards some kind of thing in that way, I've got a Google form in the description of this video, and I would like you to only do it once. Obviously, don't like fill out multiple times. You won't need to, unless circumstances really require it, where you've got like totally different skills and you want to. I don't know. Just fill it out once, and only fill it out if you really feel like you have something which you feel like you could contribute or find use, like I could find useful, or we could find useful together. And like I said, it could be a hard skill. You could be a carpenter. It could be a soft skill. You could be really good at managing people. Is that a soft skill? I don't know. I actually don't know what the difference is between those two things, but it could be one of these sorts of things. It could be that you have knowledge of a certain thing. It could be that you know a certain thing. Wait, that's the same thing, knowledge and knowing a certain thing. You could know certain people. It could be like a connections thing. It could be that you have a certain location, there's something you have that's really good, or like you have a physical thing that's really interesting, or you have access to a thing that's interesting. And it doesn't need to be in the UK. It could be, you could be in Norway and you could be like, I have a rooftop, which is a sick filming location. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just, as I said in my New Year's resolution video at the start of the year, I'm trying to not say no to stuff as much. And part of that is opening the Rolodex and flicking through it and finding things to say yes to in the Rolodex. But I need to construct the Rolodex first. Does that make sense? So no matter whether you have a degree or not, it's not about that. It's about, are you really good in a certain area objectively? Like, are you just that person? If you are, please fill out this Google form. I may never ever get in touch with you just because it's not a fit, circumstances don't align or whatever, but there is a chance that I do get in touch with you and that we end up doing some of the coolest work of our lives together randomly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I met a videographer a few weeks ago at the Sidemen charity match, and it was a really awesome conversation. He was a really nice guy, and it kind of started turning these wheels in my brain of like, hold on, I've just met this guy that I could like shoot real life content with anytime. Like, him and I could work together. I could go to like central London and I could go like interview people on the street about COD Zombies or something goofy, or about any other topic, right? Like, and that's just like a door opened to a type of content that is only open because I met the guy. And now I know what his day rate is, and I know what his availability is like, and I know what his vibe is, and I know his past clients he's worked with, so I know that he's like legit, etc., etc. And I just want as many of those nodes in my overall Rolodex of people as possible. And like, obviously, for some people, it's going to be like, okay, I've got a venue, you can hire it. It has to be a cost, you have to pay. There are going to be other people that are like, my family have like this weird shed thing, and you could just use it anytime if you wanted to. Like, if you wanted to just like go and shoot a thing there for some reason, like if you needed an abandoned swimming pool for like a video idea, then like, yeah, we've got one here. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people will need to be paid for their time. Other people might just want to be like, I just want to contribute to the cause. And so I just want to build a Rolodex, and I want you on it. If you are a talented person with a specialism. And I will not be specifying why, because I don't even know fully yet. I have some ideas, but I also want to let chance speak to me here. So if you're a creative and you want to just figure things out, the first step is to apply. And the Google form is linked down below. I will take no further questions at this time.